Real talk, your butt goes through it. Chafing, itching, mystery rashes, a wild night, or just too many damn squats. That's where anything but comes in. It's like chapstick for your butthole, loaded with all organic aloe, vitamin E, arnica, and virgin hemp seed oil. All the things that say, shh, it's okay, baby, I got you. So give your butt the same energy that you give your face. Heal, soothe, and whether it's hemorrhoids or any other kind of butthole drama, keep that peach happy. Go to anythingbrands.com and use code DEAREVERYONE for a little something off because your butt deserves a little love too. Have you ever wondered what it's like to chase your dreams with nothing but your guitar and a dirt road? Well, that is what our guest here has done, just those things. And he's living that life, he's living that story. So, welcome, everybody, and welcome Wyatt Putman to Dear Everyone.
For having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
So, okay, now correct me if I'm wrong, and it happens occasionally, very rarely, but occasionally I do get it wrong. I heard that your origin story really started at 12 years old when your uncle introduced you to a guitar. Is that true?
That's a fact.
Fact?
That's a fact.
Okay.
All facts.
And tell me, like, what piqued your interest about it? Like, what was it for 12-year-old Wyatt?
My parents' house, my great uncle's house, and then my dad's brother, my uncle, all live within like 100 yards of each other. So that sounds pretty redneck, and it is. But my great uncle was over at my uncle's house, and me and my dad picked up and walked over there to visit. They were cooking and having some drinks and just hanging out. And when I got over there, he was picking Sweet Home Alabama on the guitar. And I don't know, something about the mixture of the way his boot was stomping on the dirt coming up and his overalls tucked in and his old Gibson, the way he was banging it out. It just, my jaw dropped to the floor, dropped to the dirt, and I was like, man, I've got to learn how to do this.
I love that.
So that's kind of where it all started.
Okay, so it wasn't like impressing a girl or anything like that?
No, absolutely not. It
Right.
was all him and the way he was playing the guitar and the kind of music he was playing.
That's like something out of a movie. Like I can replay that moment.
I'll probably say it a lot, but it's country. I'm
It's
I'm all
country.
about everything country,
I love it.
and that's what he is. He's the definition of it. So that's kind of where it originated, I'd say.
Okay, I love that. Yeah, and was it like instant? Was it something you picked up and you were good at it, or?
Yeah, still to this day I'm nowhere near the guitar player I'd like to be, and I don't even consider myself to be a guitar player. I just know how to strum the guitar and sing. But yeah, he gave me a book that had a bunch of chords in the back of it, and he said, I'm going to send you home with this guitar, just a little flat top Yamaha guitar. And he said, take this home. I want you to learn the chords I circled in the back of the book, and then you can come back to me. And went home. 3 weeks later, I came back after I realized he circled every chord in the back of that book. And he said, when I change chords, you change chords. And that's kind of where it picked up. Within 3 weeks, I was strumming and playing. And he told my dad, you need to get your son a guitar. And that's where it all started.
And so, like the vision, say 3 weeks in, so you're 12 years old, you picked up the guitar, you're digging it, you're loving it. There was something that like moved your soul, stirred you up, just about the whole situation, the art of it all. Where did you see it then? Like, did you see that you would be a touring artist? Did you see that you would be on stages? Did you see that you would be with people you really admire?
I did not. When I first started, I can honestly say it was just, there was something about just being able to hang out with my buddies and pick guitar between the ages of 12 to 15. But just like any other kid that picks up a guitar and gets somewhat decent at it, eventually, the young girls start turning the eyes, and that kind of chimes in a little bit, and you're like, okay, the ladies like it too. So, I mean, that was always cool to be able to, when the girls wanted to hear you sing a song. But I'd say more or less, I really didn't have a vision. I just knew that I loved playing the guitar. And 16, I wrote my first song. And Dad got home from work and was like, how's your day, buddy? And my mom butted in and said, tell you how his day was. He wrote a song within the last week, and I want him to play it for you. And I played it for him, and he was impressed. That was actually when he went and bought me my first guitar. So yeah, there really, I wouldn't say there was a vision at all. I was just in love with having the guitar in my hands and singing.
I love it. I love to see it. So, we heard that your music has been said to feel like asphalt turning into gravel. So, how do you do that? Like, that is your special sauce. And I know that because, like I told you last night, every listen in the last 24 hours is likely me. I think I slept with your voice last night,
That's awesome.
respectfully to your wife over there.
That's
But,
awesome.
how is it that you add so much texture and soul to what you do?
I believe my music is it's really honestly just comes from a way of life. Um, it all boils down to the fact that I grew up country. I mean, we grew our own vegetables in our garden. We went out and harvested our own meat off of our own land. You know, with that mixed in with riding down the road with your dad or riding back roads with your best friends when you weren't old enough to drink, but you were doing it anyways. I mean, that all that stuff is real. That can't be taught. That can't be crafted. It's just honest, true blue, down home, dirt road country music, and that's something that I've always been thankful for is being a country boy, being from the country, and all boils down to that was my way of life and still is. You know, all the lyrics about the dirt roads and and hanging out with your buddies and falling in love and just being proud of who you are. That's just who I am, and I try to let that show in my lyrics and the type of music that the brand of music I have to offer the world.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of the brand of music, so you are what we or everyone is calling like true outlaw country. What would be like a totally unexpected like genre of music or maybe an artist that's just totally left field that you think you could bring in to make some magic with?
I have always called my style of music dirt road country, and
Dirt
I
road country.
I feel like there's very few artists that fit into the category. Obviously, I want my music to evolve to a point where I can sell out arenas one day and all that kind of stuff. But if there were some artists that I could do something with, to name a few, one I just actually did collaborate with on my first full length album we put out in March of last year was Frank Foster. Frank's a Louisiana boy.
I was just about to say he's Louisiana.
Yeah, if you hit play on the My Kind of Country album, the first song you're going to hear is Backroad Country Music featuring Frank Foster. We made some magic in the studio. That was an awesome time. Other artists, people that I have always dreamed of opening a show, recording a song with, are guys like Jason Aldean, Justin Moore, Brantley Gilbert, Randy Houser, guys like that. If we're speaking in terms of modern country music.
Mm-hmm. Can kind of go on that like pop country setup too. Like, how do you feel about stuff like that? Since yours really does feel like that traditional, something like my dad, grew up listening to and taught me, music that feels very reminiscent when I listen to you.
As much as I love traditional country music, and when I say traditional, I mean 70s, 80s, 90s country. I love all of that. One thing that gets on my nerves these days is when people are like, well, that's not country. This isn't country. Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard, Hank Williams Jr., those are my favorite artists of all time. But their brand of country, it's never coming back. So to all the people that are out there bashing guys like Morgan Wallen, who's at the top of the game, best thing you can do is just accept the fact that it is what it is. We can't turn back time. You're not going to get that Waylon Jennings dirty, gritty, dirt road outlaw, cigarette rolling out the window sound. It's just not going to happen. It's never coming back. And even I've accepted that. So, I mean, to the guys that are doing the more bro pop country type stuff, Morgan Wallen, Jordan Davis, Dylan Scott, some of those guys, it's not exactly my cup of tea, but they're their own kind of cool, and I want everybody to succeed. I don't like to bash people. That's kind of my take on it. You do your thing and be who you are and be proud of who you are and put out whatever kind of music you feel you're led to.
Like, I'm like total city girl. I'm like rap, like dance music, EDM. Like, I'm more on that end of the spectrum for sure.
but I can appreciate a good country music. But even more than that, like I can appreciate a good crossover. Like I love seeing country artists with like rock artists or country artists and hip hop. Like I love seeing that kind of come together and fuse. Do you ever see yourself exploring anything with something that's just totally different? Head on over to 11th Dot House and grab our viral pheromone perfumes. Lab backed, soul snatching, confidence boosting. Yeah, we said it. You can use code DEAREVERYONE for 10% off your first purchase because your scent should enter the room before you do. You don't chase, you attract. Now go smell like it.
For sure. And somebody that really, their music really evolved into what it is today compared to where it started is somebody that I've always been a fan of. Anybody that follows me, listens to me, watches me, comes to the shows, they know I'm a Jason Aldean fan. I love some Aldean. But Jason Aldean is a prime example. I mean, he started with songs like Amarillo Sky and Asphalt Cowboy and Hicktown, stuff like that. And eventually, along came She's Country, and then along came Dirt Road Anthem. I mean, that's country rap, but it's got edge to it. And he's done an awesome job of allowing himself and his music to evolve into the artist that he is today. So I will say that we've already got another full-length album ready to go.
Guys, hear it here.
I won't say that we quite threw the Air Jordans on for some of this music, but we definitely explored, and I definitely put pen to paper with some hit songwriters themselves and some guys that know what they're doing in a room, and we had a great time writing them, and I can't wait to get those out. So we've definitely explored, and the music
Do we
is
have a
evolving.
release date for that yet, or?
Well, the plan is to release a single every couple of months throughout the rest of the year, and then if not fall, then early 2026, everybody's going to have a new full-length record with at least 5 unreleased songs they haven't heard yet.
I love it. Well, now the next few questions might be like a little quick pace, just first thing on the top of your head, okay? So, what's the craziest thing that's happened either with a fan or at a live show?
We were in Cypress Bottom, Louisiana. I was opening for Frank Foster, and we had just that day, or the day before, we had our song Backroad Country Music come out as a single, and we were pushing the heck out of the song. I may be lying. That song came out a week later. But we played it live. When he was headlining his set, he brought me back on stage and we played Backroad Country Music. And about halfway through it, we didn't stop the song, but a lot of the guys that showed up there together were a bunch of roughnecks, a bunch of oil field hands, and they were there to party, and they partied a little too hard. And even though they were like brothers, cousins, best friends, I don't know, but they were hanging on to each other. Through the middle of that song, they wound up fist fighting each other. And that's not the first fight I've seen, but I'd say that's pretty crazy to show up as best friends and wind up breaking each other's jaws.
And that's Louisiana and beer, honey. Hopefully that doesn't happen tonight.
Pretty wild.
Tonight's show. I love it. Okay, finish this sentence. And it's funny because you already kind of said something about this earlier, and I like your stance a little better. But if you could be like a little picky on this one. All right, finish the sentence. You're not really country unless you've...
You're not really country unless you drug a buck up in a four-wheel drive.
I've done that.
You know, Blake Shelton and Trace Adkins said that we've all got a hillbilly bone down deep inside.
Amen, brother. No, my family, we have land about, like 1,800 acres. It's a lot in Kosciuszko, Mississippi. So we, the boys there, they all hunt and fish and everything goes down there and it's fun. So I get my feet wet in the country life, but like I'm a city girl through and through. Like I need Wi-Fi, I need air conditioning.
That's okay.
I need to not be bored.
Hey, that's all right. You've got to have the Starbucks and the Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that.
That's all right.
All right, I don't mean to stir the pot. We're coming to the last few questions, but I'm going to stir the pot. So, Beyoncé made a splash in country music. She's even won awards in country music for country albums. How do you feel about that? Like, what do you have to say?
Well, I think I'll speak for a lot of people on this one. Before I just be real honest. I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't admit that I was one of the kids riding down the road, singing along to all the single ladies in Halo. I mean, those are jams. Beyonce is top notch. I mean, everybody loves Beyonce and all the hits she's ever put out, all the way back from Destiny's Child, everything. But as far as Beyonce and country music goes, they should not be crossing paths. Let me rephrase that.
No, it's okay.
Well,
Tell us how you really feel.
Well, if Beyonce wants to do an actual country record, I mean, I actually listened to some of the record. I got about 2 or 3 songs in, and I was like, I don't hear anything country on this
I've
shit.
seen your TikToks about it.
Yeah. My opinion is that if you want to make a country record, do that. But if you're going to call an album, have the word cowboy in the album title, and you put it out, and it's not country music, then I don't think that you should win an award that is supposed to mean so much when you've got Chris Stapleton and Lainey Wilson in the same category.
All right, guys, you heard it here first. Wyatt said what he said, and he's standing on business against Beyonce. What would you consider that album, the Cowboy Carter album?
Well, you know
if
what?
not country, then what would you say that is?
The industry pushed that album. The music industry is going to get what they want and do what they want and give success to who they want. They were like, sure, Beyonce wants to come into this. Let's make some money. Yeah, bring her in. They didn't care about who she was or wasn't when it gets down to it. But Beyonce recorded a Beyonce album. Beyonce was just being Beyonce.
Period.
But when the industry called her and was like, hey, we want to push you to the top and piss a lot of people off, and give you the trophy to bring home instead of Chris Stapleton. Well, she was like, hey, sure, let's do it. I want to make more money too. So.
Yeah. It is what it is, I guess, huh?
It is what it is, man.
All right. Well, Wyatt, what's next? What's like the big dream? What's the vision?
My vision and my dream is the same thing that it's been for the last 8 years. I moved to Nashville in 2017 and got offered a pub deal and was supposed to be on the road with a certain artist. And that all fell through whenever COVID hit, when all that bull crap happened. And I lost a lot of traction, didn't have anything going on just like everybody else in that town. And I decided I'm not going to sit here and waller around in my pity. I'm going to move back home, get back to church with my mom and dad, have some more grandma's homemade sweet tea, get back in the woods and on the water with my dad, and, just get back to simple life, simple living, and get a breath of fresh air. And, since then we've put out a ton of music, but my vision is still the same as it's been since I first moved to Nashville or before, and that's to one day be able to sell out arenas. And it's not because I want the red carpet or the awards. I could give a damn about any of that. At the end of the day, I want the longevity. I want a long career selling out 5,000 to 7,000 cap arenas, bigger if it goes that far. And I want to do it 3 nights a weekend, every weekend of every month, 10, 11 months a year. That's what I dream of doing. And when I'm not doing that, I just want to hunt and fish and spend time with my family, with my wife and my dogs, and just have a good old time. That's what I want to do. I want a long career with loyal fans that have discovered the music, love the music, and want to come hear me sing and see my band play because of the music that they hear.
Well, I can tell you already, I'm newly converted. You guys here, outlaw shit is my jam. Okay. Literally obsessed with it. Love talking to you. This is the final question here at Dear Everyone. It really is to us a love letter to everyone who has had to go through anything where they either felt like they weren't enough or they had shame or anything, any part of their story that really did build them up to who they are today and why they're so passionate about what they do today. So I like to say, like, dear everyone, you were wrong about me, XYZ, this is why. If you could give everyone listening right now a dear everyone, what is it that they've got wrong about you or they don't know about you? What's the secret?
Stick to your guns. Be proud of who you are and where you're from. Don't take somebody that loves you for granted, and chase your dreams. If somebody tells you that you're crazy for chasing your dreams, if you want to chase them for 10 or 15 years and you still don't make it, well, guess what? You gave it hell, you gave it your all, and you don't have to look back at 75, 80 years old and say, man, I wish I would have tried to write that song or moved to Nashville, or I wish I would have started that podcast, or whatever it may be. Don't let anything hold you back. Be a dreamer. Be proud of where you're from. Be proud of who you are. You know, be thankful. Stay close to God, and chase after whatever it is you want in life.
Period.
Don't let anybody tell you any different.
You heard it here, folks. His dear everyone is stick to it, stay on your path, chase your dreams, and stay country. Tell everyone how they can find you, find your music, and keep up with all things Wyatt Putman.
Absolutely. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
And we'll direct link it in the show notes. All right, thank you so much. If you loved this, you're really going to love the stuff that we didn't air. Uncut convos, spicy extras, my thoughts after the mic drops, all waiting for you over on our Patreon at patreon.com/VSoSpicy. It's where the secrets live. See you inside.